Ever fall in love with a home only to find out it's hidden thousands of dollars in surprise repair? You think it's perfect, but the charm comes with a cost. Today, I'm breaking down the biggest hidden traps in Seattle homes, from old plumbing to rotten decks to tricky layouts, so you don't get stuck with the nightmare, but instead, you get stuck with your dream home. Hey, I'm Tan, a Seattle real estate agent. I help people find the perfect home without the hidden headaches, so you can enjoy the view, the yard, and the lifestyle that does not come with the repair bill. Stick around, because if you're shopping in the greater Seattle area, this video could save you thousands of dollars and a lot of stress. So characters does not pay the bill. Seattle 1910s Craftsman's home are full of charm, but the real issue is what's hidden inside the walls. Many still have old galvanized steel pipes, and over time, they calcified like clogged arteries. So the home may look beautiful, but when you run the shower and the sink at the same time, the water pressure can drop to a slow drip, and that's the hidden cost buyers miss. Fixing it usually means cutting into original lath and plaster walls, and doing a full repipe isn't just a simple DIY weekend project. It's basically home surgery that often can cost $20,000 to $30,000. So yes, the beautiful home, it looks nice, but its outdated plumbing can quickly turn into a dream's craftsman into a mechanical nightmare. Here's another classic Seattle home surprise. Check the attic. If you spot those little white ceramic knobs, that's knob and tube wiring. It may look vintage and harmless, but this is an old ungrounded wiring that the insurance company hates. Some won't insure the home at all until it is replaced. Even worse, you usually can't add insulation over it because that can become a serious fire hazard. So before even moving in, you could be looking at a $10,000 to $15,000 full rewired, and that beautiful Craftsman charms is amazing, but behind the walls, it might be a hidden and very expensive fire hazard. Seattle weather is a weapon against bad materials. Now let's jump into the 1990s era homes. A lot of the builders use LP wood siding. In dry climates, it does okay, but in Seattle constant rain, it acts like a giant sponge. It absorbs moisture, it swells up, it gets brittle, and it can really start failing, and it can look like soft serve ice cream. The scary part is what's behind it. That moisture can hide mold and even rot in the studs, turning what it looks like a siding job into a major structural repair. It would be a very costly project, and here's the dangerous parts for buyers. As it ages, it can get so brittle, and it almost looks like hardy plank from a distance. But don't let that fool you. Just because it looks like fiber cement doesn't mean that it's safe. In Seattle, the wrong siding can turn rain into a financial nightmare. Speaking of the 1990s, let me point out something a lot of buyers miss. If a home was built in the 1990s to the early 2000s, you really want to check what type of plumbing it has. A lot of homes during that time use PB piping, and it's often called gray pipe. And the issue is some of these older materials don't age well. Over time, they can also become brittle and prone to leak and start failing behind the walls where you cannot see it. And when plumbing fails in the home, it's not a small fix. It can turn into drywall damage, flooring issues, and a very expensive repair. That huge cedar decks looks amazing for summer barbecue, but in Seattle, an old wood deck are high maintenance and pricey. The top may look fine, but underneath, the joists, the railing, it can be rotten or even brittle. Even if you just want to maintain or repaint it, that can be a lot of work. You have to sand it, stain it, seal it. It all adds up. And if the wood is failing, repainting won't save it. Replacing a big deck, you can expect over 20 grand, and upgrading to a low maintenance composite deck can even cost you more. Pro tip, look underneath the deck for any soft, dark, or cracked wood. It is a warning sign. So don't let that beautiful deck fool you into a repair nightmare or just endless maintenance. Split level homes are popular from the 1950s to the 1970s. The main challenge is the entry flow. You walk in and immediately you must go upstairs or downstairs, And it's just so many stairs from the outside and from the inside. And the layout interrupts the natural flow. Remodeling it can be costly because the central area usually contains a low barren wall, making an open concept and renovations pretty expensive. And data shows that a split entry homes often stays on the market a little bit longer than a single story ramblers or even a 2-story. Let me break down why a 1-story home with basement can be risky in Seattle. Think of it as a basement, like a bowl that's dug into the ground. Now, Seattle soil is mostly dense clay, and clay doesn't dry well. It actually holds onto the water, so when it rains, water builds up in the soil and start creating constant pressure around the foundation. That pressure doesn't just go away. It pushes onto the basement walls for days, sometimes weeks after heavy rain. Over time, that can lead to small cracks, moisture intrusion, musty smells, and water seeping into the basement. That's why a drainage system matters so much. Things like a French drain that helps redirect water away from the home, and or a sump pump that is actively removing water from the lowest point before it builds up. Without these systems, the home is just sitting in the soil that holds water, and it can apply pressure year-round, especially during the Seattle wet season. So when you're looking at a basement here, it's not just about the finishes, it's about what's happening behind the walls and underneath the foundation. So you can fix the kitchen, but you can't move the road. Here are some location deal breakers. Buying behind a busy road means you live with ambient stress, the tire hums never stop, and if you buy in a cemetery or behind a cemetery, some people think it is a quiet neighborhood, but many cultures consider it bad luck or low energy. So when you go to sell it, you are excluding a huge demographic for international buyer, and you are forced to drop your price just to get a showing. So don't buy homes also near a flight path or kind of close to the SeaTac airport. Your windows will literally rattle and you can't even have a conversation in your backyard. You'll find these home prices lower than others, but don't take the bait. That discount will be a bigger loss when the market cools down and when you're trying to sell it. And also don't buy homes with a river in the backyard. Yes, it could look like a postcard until you see the FEMA flood map. Your insurance would likely go up over time, or you might need to get flood insurance later on. And also be careful when you buy a home with a big tree in the front. Their root can seek out moisture, and they will find the tiny cracks in your sewer line and grows inside them. And then, your toilet will be backed up. I definitely recommend when you do an inspection, do a sewer scope just to make sure that the line is not damaged. Let me keep this simple. When you buy a condo, you're not just buying your unit, you're also part of an entire building. And here's the biggest risk. It's the special assessment. And in older buildings, things like the roof, siding, plumbing, and windows, it all starts to, age over time. And if the HOA doesn't have enough money saved, then you would just have to fix it. And oftentimes, they will split the bills between all the owners, and the bills could be 10, 20, or even 30,000 per unit. And that's why it's not enough to just like the unit or the condo. You have to look at the HOA and the financial health before you buy. A condo can look perfect on the outside, but the real question is the building financially prepared for what is coming next? Because if it's not, then you are the one paying for it. All right, I know I probably just ruined a few of your Redfin favorites, and honestly, I'm not sorry. Here's the truth. Seattle real estate is one of the best places in the world to build wealth if you buy the right home. I work with buyers all over the greater Seattle area, and my job is to simply prevent you from buying the wrong home. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe. And if you're thinking about buying in the next 90 days or even next year, feel free to download my buyer's guide below. I'm Tan, your real estate bestie, and I will see you on the next one, hopefully in a house with no surprises.